Welcome to Pixel Composer 1.19.7. This version only comes with 2 new nodes, but it comes with quite a major improvement on the user interface and interaction with some nodes. So let's get through it. The first one is MK Dialog. It's a node that allows you to create continuous dialogue. So some people use Pixel Composer to create cutscene and to compose multiple layers of text. It can be kind of annoying. So with this, you can have, for example, an external file that contains all your dialogue, and then you separate it into an array of text and plug it in an MK Dialog. They have the same setting as the draw text node, but it also has some extra properties that allow you to animate and transition between each text. So you can control the timing. You can use automatic timing. So it can be based on the fixed frames. It can be based on letter counts or the word counts. You can also have manual timer, so this will allow you to adjust the timing directly in the timeline, right? You can control how long it's gonna be per each text. And then we have a different animator that can control how the text will transition in and out, and also extra effect as well. Next is a node that allows you to import a Json or a Json model, which is a type of model you will see when you work with a voxel editor like Minecraft or Blockbench or stuff like that. In my case, I have been modding vintage story and I have to use this kind of model a lot too, so I create an importer for it. Now you have to provide texture manually because normally the texture reference will be in the different places, so you have to do some reference matching to make sure that it uses the correct texture. But after you import it, it's just going to import it as a 3D image just like other node, right? And you can use it to create an animation. Next is an improvement on the user interface. The major idea now is that the preview panels got a new selection system, so now you can just click and drag to select an area. And by default, you'll be able to copy part of your image and then paste it somewhere else. However, this selection also works in some other nodes as well. For example, the path node, you can now select multiple anchor and then manipulate them. Or in the armature node, you can now select multiple anchor point and then apply some transformation to all of them. And in this example, you also see a new manipulation system, which based on the Blender manipulation system, right? So when you have a selection, you can now use the G, R, or S key to manipulate object. You can use X or Y key to snap the transformation in each axis, right? And you can just type number in directly to control the amount of transformation you want. This works with the armature system. It also works with the path system. You can rotate, scale, and manipulate each part independently. It also works in other nodes as well, like in the composite. This node doesn't support multiple selection yet, but you can now use grab, rotate, and scale. It also works in transform node and in the armature bind as well. And on the transformation, there also an improvement on the transformation gizmo. So now you should be able to transform things in a more predictable and more intuitive ways, like the box scaling, the rotation, are now consistent across composite, transform, and armature bind nodes. Not only that, some of the properties are now exposed on the preview panel, like for example in the color adjustment, right? The brightness, contrast, and exposure. You can now edit it directly on the preview panels. And you can use hotkey. We will show you on the tools area here. You can press B to control the brightness, right? C for contrast, E for exposure. And you can type in your number directly to apply the values relative to the original values. A lot of the nodes that have these position properties can now be adjusted by pressing G. The rotation or the angle property can also be modified by pressing R. In some nodes, you can also use like S key for scale, right? And the available keys to show on the tool panel here. Then we have an improvement on the 3D views. The 3D views are now support isometric views. So when you press the numpad 1, 3, 7, it will now switch to orthographic or isometric view automatically. And you can also press numpad 5 on your keyboard to switch to isometric view as well. And just like in other nodes, you can also use hotkey to transform the 3D object. Again, G for moving, R for rotate, S for scaling. And then as usual, we have the number of bug fix I'm showing on the screen right now. So that will be it for today's video. So thank you everyone for watching. Special thanks for all the Patreon supporters, and see you in the next one.